Hi everyone. My name is Jennifer Silletto. I'm a realtor, broker, and REO listing agent here in California and Nevada. But I actually now live in Las Vegas. And I've been an REO agent for about 8 years. And some of these Bengal properties go onto the online auction websites. So I only do zone.com auctions, and I started doing it for a while, and then finally I decided to buy the properties. And I know well, in Las Vegas it's expensive and it doesn't cash flow, so I started looking into um, I landed in Detroit first because one of the tenants that was living in the property that got foreclosed on, she told me she had two properties in Detroit, Michigan, and she was from Cleveland, Ohio, and she told me homes haven't like appreciated since she was a kid, and they were like 30,000. And so that made me start exploring these other areas. And then I started to look up, like Section 8 and how much the rents were going for. So I thought I'd do a video to show you how to buy bank-owned properties via auction websites. And I've been pretty successful at this. And so now I think doing this video is easier for some people so you can rewind, because I literally have bought four properties, and some of them I bought at 60 cents on the dollar. And so I want to show you how to do, because it's very duplicatable because I'm just doing it over and over again. This is, I'm pretty conservative, and so I'm sticking to, these homes, and they're under $100,000. So I started, my first one that I purchased was, I closed escrow on October 24th, 2023, and it was a property in Warren, Michigan. I bought it for $60,000. And what's interesting is the previous owner bought it in April of or March of 2022 for $145,000 and got an FHA loan. Okay. And so I don't know how come this happened, but the bank let it go for 60,000. And the market value at the time was, about 140 as well. And and how I look for properties to be safe is I look for um, cosmetic work needed only, because what I found is even though it's cosmetics, it could still cost $20,000 to $25,000 in rehab work. And this property ended up, I thought was 20,000, ended up being 40,000 rehab because the city required a certificate of occupancy. And it was my first deal. Didn't know, I wasn't very good, but luckily I had enough room in it. So even though I made a mistake, I still had a lot of cushion. And today, currently rented to a Section 8 tenant that pays $1,600 and pays for all utilities, and my mortgage is $1,089, and I still have 25% equity in the home. Okay, so but that was a good deal. I actually tried to flip it, and we had a buyer, and then they changed their mind, and then we just decided to keep it. So you make your money on the buy, okay? And right now, I think a lot of people don't know what bank-owned properties are because they haven't seen it in such a long time. But I know it because I'm in this industry, and I sell bank-owned properties. And for me, even in Las Vegas, there's not that many, but in these smaller, the Midwest. So I buy in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan. I just got into Alabama, And the key to being successful, I think, with this is just having your team. So you have to find a realtor, a contractor, and maybe the property manager who's either really knowledgeable in doing short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, or to Section 8 housing. Because right now, I guess what I'm solving or what you need to solve is this affordable housing. Now, don't get me wrong, you can buy more expensive properties, but I've been looking for properties around 75,000 and they're worth about 150. So I started off really small because, if you go smaller and if you lose, it doesn't hurt you too much. Okay. But so far, out of all the 4 properties that I bought through auction, I've made money. Okay. I haven't lost money and I'm just sticking to doing the same thing over and over, which is trying to buy these homes 60 cents on the dollar. Okay. Because I want to be able to pull the money that I put for down payment and then the rehab and get it back out. And then I still have equity and then I'm cash flowing. So this is just a win-win all around. So I want to help show you how to buy this because yes, you can buy creatively, but I don't want to deal with any sellers or buyers when bank forecloses. So an REO stands for real estate owned. You're not dealing with any sellers. I mean, actually, people that are still there if you buy this subject to and stuff like that. And the entry fee, I just found a lender that will do a bridge loan for 10% down. But okay, the origination point is high, it's 4.75%. And then I think the other service fee was like $14.99. But this property I bought in Alabama, it's $99,840. And so my cash to bring into closing is 17,000. Okay, so yes, 4.75 is almost 5 points, but it's only 5,000. This property, the ARV is 175. I need about $25,000 in repairs. So I should still make some good money. This one I plan to flip. I try to buy and hold, but sometimes you just got to flip to get more capital. So sometimes I borrow money from clients or family and friends, and I want to offer them like 15%. Sometimes I do 20%, 15 to 20% interest only. So it's annualized. I rather they get the money instead of me giving it to uh, these hard money lender. But sometimes you just don't want to have to convince people. And so when you deal with the people that do bridge loans or DSCR loans, they do this day and night and they know, what to do. And also, I guess I'll touch base that I buy it in an LLC, okay, and I open bank accounts. I've gotten pretty good at doing that as well. I know how to form an LLC myself. But anyways, let me start with, I'm gonna go with Zone. So far, all the properties that I have purchased have been on Zone.com because I also am the listing agent on this property. And I buy properties that have been foreclosed and either are a second chance foreclosure. And that is what that means is it was an FHA loan that the previous borrower bought it, okay? And then these properties usually do not have a buyer's premium and they don't have a listing agent, okay? So you can buy really discounted. However, it's sold as is. Sometimes you can get into the property and sometimes you can't, okay? So here's how you go and search. You would set up an account and on zone.com. Again, I'm buying in the Midwest because you can still buy properties over there at 140,000. I mean, it can't get any more affordable. The reason a lot of these people I've noticed the properties got foreclosed on is because during the COVID, people bought the homes during 2020, 2021, and then they took COVID, they took the forbearance. And then now that all the forbearance have been lifted and they're trying to do a loan mod, but when they got the loan, it was 3%. And now the loan mod is like 7%. So they don't qualify. So I've seen some properties, literally, they bought it and it foreclosed on them in 11 months. Like I'm just shocked. There's so many. And these are some of the properties that I buy that this is what has happened to them. Okay. So anyway, I tried to buy, this is how, let's go back. I'm going to search. This is how I search. So I'm buying in Indiana. I have a property in Evansville. You want to select bank owned or second chance foreclosures. Okay. I'm not going to even get into the other three because I want to have more time to explain. Um, I check all the properties and then auction status. You want active. You'll see something called first look. I don't even bother with this. Okay. You can check no buyer's premium, but it's back to, you can check. I never bother checking these. I go to the more filters and I put 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. That's like my minimum. And when you click vacant, because people do get foreclosed and they're still living in the property, if you uncheck it, you'll get more. Okay. And then if you have a property that you want to bid on is occupied, you're going to have to act like a bank and do cash for keys. And that's what I have done in the past is just offer the occupant cash for keys and then they would not damage the house and they would just leave. Okay. Um, so I have 20 properties if I do vacant, but if I don't check, let me see, let me check. Reported vacant. That's so weird. I don't have anything checked. All right. Somehow just being dumb. Okay. Never mind. I'm going to get out of this thing. On the screen, I have an ultra wide monitor. So you're going to have the map and then you're going to, and you can get even more detailed. Like you can put what city you want. Okay. And you can come back because sometimes there's always new properties that pop up. There's a problem is this one. A couple weeks now. So I don't know when the heck, why it's taking so long. Um, while this is loaded on it. So when it's vacant, and most of these property they want cash only, but that doesn't really mean cash. Cash, you can use a hard money lender, okay? So they were able to get in the house, they meaning the property preservation company. Um, each bank uses a property preservation company that's nationwide and they go secure the house right after the tenant left. So this tenant, the person who left didn't get cash for keys. And the reason is because there's still their belongings inside the house. But this is how I buy properties. I try to make sure to buy it without a lot of rehab work, okay? And I've been successful with buying homes that were rehabbed and then sold to the owner that just got foreclosed on, okay? So they remodel it. So you can, looks pretty good. And maybe you need new carpet, or maybe not deep clean. You can pull the carpet and fix that. I don't think this is granite top. So far I'm liking this house by looking at these. This is the most current photo of what it looks like. Well, I should say just current. It's vacant. The property preservation, they winterize the home. There's no utilities on. So when you go buy this property, you're gonna buy it as is with no utilities on. Okay, you can't get an appraisal done because they cannot test. But if you buy it with a listing agent, then they turn on the utilities, but then you have to pay 3% or 5% buyer's premium of whatever the ending bid is. So if you bought it for like, 100,000, you're gonna have to pay an additional 5%, which is another 5,000. I avoid those because I don't want to pay extra money. So that's why I go after the second chance foreclosures. They're discounted, but the risk is that you don't know. Sometimes you can get in, sometimes you can't. And when I say that, when people leave their homes, they leave the doors open. So if you get And the reason why you're still able to go is because the zone auction, they throw these houses right on there right away. And, you know, sometimes it's occupied and they'll still put it. So you can buy auction homes with occupants in there and it's up to you to evict them. Okay. So far I'm like, okay, the next thing I want to know is what did this house get foreclosed at? So zone is they put on here. Okay. So I'm going to go and check the title of this property 24/7. You can hit me up if you would like to have an account. I can get my, this is also with my company. I work for Villa Home. The parent company is Carrington Holdings, but we have Villa Title and Villa Escrow. And my escrow company is also the escrow company for Zone and auction.com as well, okay, because they're a big mortgage servicing company. Uh, you need an account for this, okay? So that property is the ad 69. This. So I can get you an account to what I'm using right now, but you know, some people can use PropStream. Indianapolis, I already know, is Marion County, so you can either put the city or the county in here. Marion County. Time here for the show. So there's a map down here you can look and it shows you there's actually two parcels. One is land, the other is the house. You click get now. Okay, so what I get is a report. Okay, you can email it, you can download it. Um, the huh, you know, I pulled this before and now it's, oh, has it changed? No, I think it's been the same. Okay, so this is sales comps around the neighborhood. You can check on it too and see what they've been selling for. What I do is I scroll down further. And what I want you to do is to try to figure out how to read this, okay? This property, I think it's actually foreclosed twice already, okay? Because in 2009, there's a sheriff's deed that foreclosed at 57,925, and then it resold. And see, here's another sheriff's deed. If you see a sheriff's deed, that means that it has foreclosed. Okay, it's now belonged to the bank. PennyMac was the loan, and it foreclosed and went to the bank at 164,000. That means that when it went to auction at the auction house and you show up live, nobody bought it, and it went back to the bank at 164. Okay, so now it's done. You can purchase it. There's no redemption period. 164 is the number. So okay, so now what I want to know is how much is this property valued at if I buy it for 164? I have a spreadsheet for this because I've been eyeballing this property for a while now. And I have to have this spreadsheet because there's no way I can remember all the properties that I look at. So I have different states as well. Sorry, so let me scroll over here. This is all my Indiana states. I have Michigan, Alabama, Ohio. But this property, the first time I saw it was on June 12th. Okay. No one's, it hasn't, actually, this one isn't available to bid yet, but I was researching it. So it's 164, so that's still the same. And then the ARV after I did my research was 245. Okay, it was okay. So I want to show you how sometimes you have properties that you cannot see inside because it's occupied. So what I do is I get back out on the internet and again, I cannot open this thing. So let me, I'm just going to go here real quick where the property is. And I want to see 6928 South. 6928. southeastern. There it is. A little trick when you do Google Maps, it's satellite. So this is really rural Indianapolis, but it's kind of outskirts, okay? Satellite to see the actual footage. And then I always click here because I want to see what it is. So I already know the house is over here, okay? And it's next to, I always do this. I do a 360 turn. And I don't know if you know how to use this, but okay, so this is very recent. And you can always click on this to see other dates. Okay, so they just took this, you can move the satellite. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm having problems here. This house, to get to it, you actually have to go on Southwestern is the street. Let's see if I can get over here. Oh, wait, I meant to go over here. Okay, so I go and I check so I can see what the street and the neighborhood looks like. Okay. And then next, what I want to know is what is the value of this house? Okay. I'm gonna just go on the internet and put in the address again. What is it? 69. So what this is gonna do is Finn and Trulia, it will show you the last time it was listed and it'll have photos. But we got into this house, so you see the current one already. But what this does is helps you. So this house sold in the years that I want to buy. Like I won't look at properties 2021 and newer because COVID, right after homes just shut up like crazy because everybody was overbidding. Okay. So here's a house that it sold in 2019 and the person who sold it renovated this home. Okay. Look at this. They did this already. So what does that tell me is that, well, I don't have to spend too much money in rehab, maybe paint, carpet, and even then, like I said, sometimes still, spending $25,000 in cosmetic repair. So look, this looks really nice. I don't think I have to do much rehab, but there's going to be a lot of landscaping because you had noticed the other photo, there's like weeds growing really, really tall. So I have a team out here who does my contract work. So they're my boots on the ground. So that's why I said you should get a realtor. My guy's not a realtor, but he's a contractor, and he does. I hire him to do my midterm rentals. So I like this property because it looks good. So he really went out and saw it as well for me. So I'm just waiting to bid on it. What do I want to show? I wanted to show what the value. See, Redfin is saying it's 174. It's not, and it was renovated in 2008. I have it as 245. So if I can buy it for 164, how do we know how much we can buy? Oh, on website. But I do know that the bank foreclosed on it at 164. See, that's kind of how I know. So 245 at 70% LTV is 171. So 245 at 65%. Okay, so it's about 67% LTV. If I don't need to do too much work, you know what? I could flip this house or I could keep it. Can go either way. Let's see. Okay, so let's make my team go out there and take a look at the property. It still looks like that. Auction.com. I have that open. So you can also scroll down here to see what other homes, what they sold at, right? So you gotta get the zip code. It's gotta be within 1 mile and within the last 90 days. they're saying these are the nearby comps, which is nice. See, it's sold for 280. This is a little older, 260. I was conservative with 245. This tells me I want to buy this home. Okay, so there's that. And this is how I figure out, and this is nice because the house is vacant. I don't have to kick out the occupant. All right. Let me try. I'm in Ohio already. So you can name it, you can go, let's search Akron, Ohio. Okay, I buy in Alabama. And I search for landlord-friendly state of under 100,000 because I'm just do this. This is what you have to do again. Wait, did it save? Okay, point out something on this page. If it says reserve, okay, so it's not rocket science how to do this, but it's time on Zoom. Auctions go live on a Saturday and it ends on Tuesday. And I forgot to share something, but the auctioneer will bid with you. Zoom doesn't show you, but time you can see they try to bring you up. Okay, so what I was told is that the bidding increments is 25,000. That means you're far away from the reserve price. As you get closer, the bidding increments get smaller. So I think they have 10, then they have 5,000, they have 1,000, and I've even seen them go, the next one is 100. The reason I have the spreadsheet here, just need to bid low. You need to do all your due diligence before you make the bid. Okay, so don't think you're going to go bid and then you run out there and look at it. And these auctions are weekly, hundreds, because the seller also won't drop their price, right? So like I've lost like two, and I was looking in Newburgh, Indiana. That's a hot area. That means it's only for owner occupied. Okay, you have to sign an affidavit. Someone who, but it's risky. You don't want to do that, and so that's what first look means. I do look in Birmingham. Well, okay, let's click here. Oh, I really want to try 3 bedrooms. I will pronounce it semis. I have as section 8 flip if it's no good and it's not, it's just not in that area, so I'll flip. And then I'll either decide if I want it to be a midterm rental. I've been thinking about section 8 housing. The reason I use a realtor is because if I start, and then I always invested, and I said, hey, do you want to make, they're lame. I've been ghosted. Like I'll talk to them. They only know how to sell houses. AC unit was gone. It is vacant, $91,000. Reserve not met, but this has no buyer's premium. I don't think there's any carpet. So sometimes when they clean it out and it's terrible, they will remove. See all these people, 22. All right. I have not seen this property before, so I have to do the search again. Them and get I guess a pre-approval. Okay, let's look this up. It's 39. Spell the street. Okay. And my computer is so slow. It's a weird name. What county? We're in. Wait, did I say east? And it's in Mobile. Mobile, Alabama, and it's also Mobile County. Search. Oh, I don't have the right address. I say it was just. Okay, let's do this again. I got an error because I don't have the right address in here. I still don't have the right address because either, sometimes these people who, maybe they spelled wolf wrong. That happened. Oh my God, maybe he did spell this wrong. I have a typo. Wolf, who spells wolf like that? Oh, wolf. Ah, shoot. Okay, I hate that. All right. See if this works. I can't find this property. Time to be continued.